when the nearby shrubs rustled. A raven swooped down to the swing and cawed, his wings flapping as he steadied himself. Miya squinted at the bird, barely visible in the dim blue light before dawn. "Tough luck. I'm going home," she told him, and turned to leave. But a flurry of feathers and scrape of talons on the back of her skull stopped her. "Jesus!" She flailed her arms over her head and turned back towards the swing, only to find the raven still perched there. It was like he hadn't moved at all. He canted his head and chortled. "How did you—" Before she could finish, the rustling from the woods grew louder, more persistent. There was someone there. "Help!" It was a faint murmur, barely audible in the open air. Dropping her bag, Miya rushed toward the trees. As she kicked past the shrubs, she reared back when she saw a young woman clinging to a nearby branch for support. In the pale glow of sunrise stretching across the sky, Miya caught a glimpse of her face and recognized her immediately. "Elle!" she gasped, rushing to catch the swooning girl. Although she was slight, Elle crashed onto Mia's shoulder like dead weight. She was barely conscious, her skin cold as ice, and her teeth chattered as she grasped weakly at Mia's clothes. They didn't know each other personally, but it was hard to go a day without hearing Elle's name. She'd been missing for almost a week. After struggling to pull her from the woods, Miya combed her over for injuries, but aside from a few scratches and shadows clinging to the hollows of her eyes, she appeared unharmed. Miya stripped off her jacket and wrapped it around Elle's trembling frame, then pulled her phone from her back pocket and dialed the police. "I've found Elle Robinson," she blurted out when the operator answered. The voice on the other end perked up. "Yes, she's alive, but I think she needs medical attention." After hanging up, Miya sat down next to the huddled teenager and rubbed her shoulders, awkwardly attempting to warm her up. Her knee-length nightgown was fraying near the hem, the ivory satin soiled from tumbling through the woods. She was fiddling with the thin gold chain around her neck when she looked up. Who, or what, could have done this to her? "You—" Elle trailed off, wide eyes trained on Miya. "You told me to stay away from Black Hollow." Miya dropped her hands from the young woman's shoulders. "I think you might be confused," she replied. "We've never met." She must have been a bit loopy from dehydration. Miya burned to ask where she'd been, what had happened to her, but it felt ill-timed. When the police arrived, they took Mia's statement as the ambulance carted Elle off to the hospital. "Think it was the Dreamwalker?" she caught one of the officers whispering, only to be hushed by the lead detective. "We don't deal with boogeymen, only criminals," he chided. He turned to Miya and shook her hand, smiling brightly. "It's a miracle you were here," Detective Brandon Hughes told her. "You saved her life, Amelia." "Fateful timing, I guess." Miya reveled in the praise. Detective Hughes offered her a ride home, and she happily accepted. He didn't ask what she'd been doing out before dawn, and seemed perfectly content to dole out kind words. Miya ate them up like all-you-can-eat sundaes. Her heart swelled, the memory of the probation letter already fading. She'd done something amazing, even if by accident, and it was enough to momentarily abate the existential dread. Perhaps even the shallowest grave was deep enough to bury failures. Miya was riotous with motivation. She wrote a statement to her university, acknowledging full responsibility for her shortcomings and imploring the administration for a second chance. The letter teemed with vulnerability, heartfelt apologies, and promises to get back on track. Without even waiting for a response, Miya began preparing for her triumphant return. But when the article on Elle Robinson's disappearance came out, Mia's chest tightened as she scanned the story. There was no mention of her contribution. Still, she snipped the news piece from the diner's free paper when no one was looking and kept it as a memento, a reminder of how good it felt.